So, hello friends. So today's point of syllabus is division algorithm. Okay. So division algorithm, the statement is let a and b are two integers such that b is a positive integers or non-zero. Okay. Then there exist unique integers q and r. Q is quotient, r is remainder, such that we can write a is as a bq plus r. Okay, I will give a small example. Okay, we know first. Suppose there are two integers. One is 13, another is say 4. Okay, so 30 and 4 are two integers. Okay, a and b, where b is positive, where 4 is positive. Now divide 13 by 4. So we can write 13 is equal to 4 into 3 plus 1. So here a is equal to b into q, or b is 4, q is quotient, quotient is 3 and r is the remainder, and the remainder r is such that remainder always get equal to 0 and strictly less than b. Okay, see 1 is get equal to 0 and strictly less than 4. 4 is our divisor. Okay, so this is the division algorithm. If we divide a number by a non-zero number, then there is always exist unique quotient and remainder, such that this remainder is always greater equal to 0 and less than the divisor b. Such a quotient and remainder are always unique. We cannot replace these two numbers. We cannot get a combination so that this, if we replace 3 and 1 by other number, we will not get again 30. This 3 and 1 are unique. Okay. So this is the division algorithm. Now we will see the proof. Okay. So we have given two integers a and b, where b is positive. Okay. Now we will take q is equal to greatest integer function of the ratio a by b, where this greatest integer function means 2.3 and greatest integer function of 2.3 is equal to 2. So the greatest integer function means the value of the, to be introduce greatest integer function 2.3 means now a integer, a greatest integer 2.3 is not integer. Okay, so a greatest integer less than or equal to 2.3. So the number or integer which is less than or equal to 2.3. So 2.3 is the number. So the integers less than 2.3 are 2, 1, 0, minus 1 up to so on are the integer less than 2.3. But greatest among them is 2. So the value of greatest integer function of 2.3 is 2. Okay, this is the greatest integer function. So we have taken q is equal to greatest integer function of a by b. So we take r is equal to a minus b into this greatest integer of a by b. Okay. Now since b is greater than 0, b is positive, this greatest integer function is defined or exists. But this value is nothing but q. So we get r is equal to a minus b into q. That is, transfer this minus bq to this side and maintain a to one side. So we get a is equal to b into q plus r. Okay. So this a is equal to bq plus r. So we have solved just first part. Okay. We also just shown that there is this integer q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r. Now we have to show that this r is always greater than equal to 0 and less than b, and then we have to show this q and r are unique. Okay. Now we have just shown that we can find the numbers q and r so that a is equal to bq plus r. Now we have to show this r is always greater than equal to 0, always less than b. Now we know one standard inequality in terms of greatest integer function. What is the inequality? The inequality is the x minus 1 is always strictly less than greatest integer of x is always less equal to x. Okay, this is the standard inequality of greatest integer function. That the greatest integer of x always less equal to x and always greater than strictly than x minus 1. Okay, you can verify this. If you take x is equal to x is equal to 3.2. Okay, so we have greatest integer of x our greatest integer less than or equal to 3.2, and this is 3. Okay, so x is equal to 3.2 and greatest integer of x is 3. So we have this greatest integer of x is 3. 3 is less equal 3.2. So 3 is less equal 3.2 and greatest integer of x is 3 and is greater than x minus 1. What is x? X is 3.2. 3.2 minus 1 is 2.2 and 2.2 is clearly less than 3. 2.2 is clearly less than 3. This is the standard inequality in greatest integer function. So replace here x by our value a by b. Okay, so replace, put x is equal to a by b in this inequality. So what we will get? So we will get a by b minus 1 is always less than the greatest integer of a by b, which is less equal to a by b. Okay. Now solve this. This means a minus b upon b. So upon b, transport is b which is in denominator. So we get, what we get? A minus b upon b. Okay, a minus b upon b, transfer b to this sides. So a minus b upon b, just maintain a by b, a minus b, and transfer the derivative to these two sides. Is less than b into this function, but value of this is q, less than b into q, which is less equal to, again transport this a minus b upon b to this side also, multiply with this also by b. So b and b get cancelled, so only remain here a. So a minus b always less than b, q is always less equal to a. Now multiply this inequality by minus sign. We know if you multiply this inequality by minus, the inequality get changed. Okay, we know 2 is always less than 3, but if you multiply minus sign, then minus 2 is greater than minus 2 is less than minus 3. Okay, so if you multiply by minus, the inequality get changed. So multiply here also by minus. So here a was greater or equal to every value, but if you multiply minus, this becomes smallest. So multiply by minus sign. So we get minus a is less equal, okay, minus dq, which is strictly less than minus of a minus b, that is minus of a plus b. Okay, multiply minus to a minus b, this become minus, this minus will become plus b. Okay, now add a to each term. Okay, so add a here, so this a added, minus a as it is, less equal a added minus dq as it is, add a and this minus a plus b as it is. So this implies a minus a is 0. Okay, this is less equal a minus dq. What is a minus dq? Is r. So a minus dq is r. It is less than a minus a 0 plus b. So plus b. So this remainder is always greater or equal to 0 and always less than the quotient q. So 0 always less equal to r, less than b. Okay, so we have proved two things, this and this. Now we have to prove that there is these unique integers q and r. So we have to prove that q and r are unique. We cannot replace them by some other numbers. Okay, but we will prove this in contradiction method. Okay, we will assume there are two, we can have two q and r. Okay, so suppose they are not unique. Okay, so we can find two q and r. One is q1, other is q2. One is r1, other is r2. So let a is equal to bq plus r can be written in two ways. Okay, suppose q and r not unique. So a is equal to b into q1 plus r1. Okay, suppose there are two q1 and q2. Similarly, we can replace this q1 and r1 by q2 and r2. So a is equal to b into q2 plus r2. What we assume? We assume that q and r are not unique. There we can find two pairs. One is q1 r1, other is q2 r2. Okay. Suppose they are exist. Now this is the value of A, this is the value also A. Okay. Now we have to show that this Q1 is equal to Q2 and this R1 is equal to R2. Okay. So we will take now difference between R1 and R2. So R1 minus R2. So R1 minus R2. Value of R1 is A minus BQ1. Okay. A minus B into Q1. Minus of R2. Value of R2 is A minus B into Q2. Okay. Now this A, this minus A get cancelled. This is equal to minus of BQ1 and minus of minus plus. So BQ2. So here B is common. So B is Q2 and B is minus Q1. Okay. So what we get? We get R1 minus R2 is equal to B into Q2 minus Q1. Okay. Now, what we have to do next? Okay. We have to show that this R1 and R2 are same and Q1 and Q2 are also same. Okay. So, for this purpose, on this we can take mod on both sides. Okay. So, take mod on both sides. So, R1 minus R2 mod of this is equal to B times, and B is positive, so mod of Q2 minus Q1. Now this look like A is equal to B into C. Okay, and we know if A is equal to B into C, where B and C are integers, then by the definition of divisivity, B divides A. Here C is integer, A is integer, B is integer. Here R1 R2 are integer, so R1 minus R2 is integer, B is integer, Q2 minus Q1 integer. So this is like A, this is B, this is C. So A is equal to B into C. This implies B divides mod of R2 minus R1 because A is equal to B into C. So this implies B divides R1 minus R2. Okay. Now see, here A is equal to BQ plus R1 and A is equal to BQ plus R2. But we know if any remainder always less equal to the quotient. So for divisor, so R is always less equal to B. So R1 is always less equal to B. R2 is always less equal to B. So write down here. Here R1 is always less equal to B. Similarly R2 always less equal to B, because you already proved remainder is always less equal to divisor. Here remainder is R1, remainder is R2, so always less equal to the divisor B. Now R1 is less equal to B, R2 is also less equal to B. Okay, and now what happening? See, R2 and R1 are both less equal to B, so R2 minus R1 also less equal to B. Okay, R1 and R2 are the number which are less than B. Okay, and their difference also less than B. Still B is dividing their difference. Is this possible? No. See, so there are two numbers, say 1 and 2. Both numbers are less than 3. And is it possible that 3 divides 2 minus 1? No, 3 does not divide 1. Because already these numbers are less than 3. So 3 cannot divide these two numbers. So why 3 divides their difference? These numbers are already less than 3. And if we are taking their difference also less than 3. So can 3 divides their difference 1? No. Here also. The number R1 and R2 are already less than B. And we are taking their difference. So difference also less than B. So B cannot divide their difference. Okay. So suppose there are two conditions. Either this R2 minus R1, this mod are either 0 or not equal to. If their mod is 0, then okay. Okay. So if mod of R1 minus R2 is not equal to 0, then this is contradiction. This is contradiction. Why? Because the numbers are less than B and still B dividing their difference. Okay, this is contradiction 2. R1 and R2 less than B. So for B divides this difference, the difference must be equal to 0 because any integer always divides 0. This implies the difference between R2 and R1 or R1 R2 must be equal to 0. Since difference between them is equal to 0, this implies R1 must be equal to R2. There is no other chance. Okay. Now, since R1 is equal to R2, put this value here. Replace R1 and R2 by single value. Okay. So we have. Okay. So we will write here. Okay. So we have A is equal to BQ1 plus R1. Okay. So A is equal to BQ1 plus R1 and A is equal to BQ2 plus R2. Both are the value of A. So both values are equal. Okay. So we have BQ1 plus R1 is equal to BQ2 plus R2 because both are the value of A. So these are equal. But R1 is 7 R2. Okay. So R1 is 7 R2. So it get cancelled. So what remains? Only BQ1 is equal to BQ2. But again B is integer. It get cancelled. So what remains? Q1 is equal to Q2. Okay. This implies the remainders and the quotients Q1 are always unique. So there is this unique integers Q and R such that A is equal to BQ plus R and remainder R is equal to 0 and it less than. This is the proof of division algorithm. Okay, very important theorem. Okay. So next point is even and odd integers. Okay. Even and odd integers. We know even integers are 0 to 4 minus 2 minus 4 etc. Okay, and odd are 1 3 5 7 minus 1 minus 3 etc. Okay, but we will quickly revise what is the idea. Okay, we know division algorithm. We can write if there exists integer, if there are integers a and b, so that b is positive. We can find q and r, so that a is equal to b q plus r. Unique q and r and remainder is always get equal to 0 less than b. Okay. If we take b is equal to 2, okay, divisor is 2, then we know remainder is always less equal to the divisor. So here 0 is always less equal to r and r is always less than the divisor b and b is here 2. So for r there are only two options. Either r is equal to 0, r is equal to 1 because r is strictly less than 2 and get equal to 0. So r is either equal to 0 or 1. Okay. If we put r is equal to 0, okay. So if we put r is equal to 0, we get a is equal to b is to 2q multiple of 2. So the integers are called even integers. If remainder is 1, that is r is equal to 1, then we have a is equal to 2 times q plus 1. Such integers are called odd integers. Okay. So the integers, even integers are represented by 2 times some integers or 2 times q, 2 times e of k, and the odd integers are represented by 2 times q plus 1, 2 times k plus 1 etc. Okay. Then we will see one example based on or theorem based on even and odd integers. Okay, the statement is if x and y are odd integer, then x square plus y square is never a perfect square. Okay. So we have to prove if x and y are odd integers, then x square plus y square is never a perfect square. Perfect square means a number like 16, it is perfect square because it's square of 4. 16 is equal to 4 square. Such a number I call perfect square. Okay. So we have to prove if x and y are odd numbers, then x square plus y square is never a perfect square. For example, take x is equal to 3 or 4 and y is equal to 5 or. Okay. Then 3 square is 9 plus 5 square is 25. Okay. This is equal to 34. 34 is not a perfect square. 34 is not a square of any integer. Okay? So if x and y are odd numbers, then x square plus y square is never a perfect square. We will prove this. Okay. Now x and y are odd numbers. So we know x look like 2 times m plus 1 and y look like 2 times n plus 1 since x and y are odd. Okay. So they look like 2 times n plus 1 and 2 times n plus 1. Okay. So now we will convert x square plus y square. Okay. So x square plus y square equal to 2 times m plus 1 square plus 2 times n plus 1 square. Okay. Now take now do the more calculation. Okay. So this is equal to, what is the square of twice m plus 1 is equal to 4m square plus 2 into 2m plus 1. So 2 into twice m into 1. So 4m plus square of 1 is 1. Similarly, square of twice n plus 1 square. So it is equal to 4n square plus 4n plus 1. Okay. This implies x square plus y square. Okay. Is equal to 4m square plus 4m. Okay. Now 1 plus 1 becomes 2. So I will write here plus 2. So we can take 2 common from each term. So this is equal to 2 times. So we have taken 2 common. So this becomes 2 times twice m square plus twice n square plus twice m plus twice n. Okay. Plus twice m plus twice n plus 1. Because we have taken 2 common. So 2 into 4m square, 2 into 4n square, 2 into 2m, so 4m, and 2 into 2, so 4n, and last 2 into 1 is 2. Okay. Again, we can write this as 2 times. From this, we can again take common 2. This is equal to 2 times m square plus n square plus m plus n. This plus 1 added. Okay. Now m and n are integers. So this total are also integers. So we can write this is equal to 2 times. Okay. 2 times 2k plus 1. This is some integer taking 2 as it is, this k as it is, this plus 1. Okay. So we have taken x square plus y square is equal to 2 times 2k plus 1. Okay. Now we have to show x square plus y square is not a never perfect square. We will prove this using the method of contraction. Means the method of contraction means we have to assume that negative of we have to prove. So we have to prove here x square plus y square is never a perfect square, but we will assume it is a perfect square and we will get contraction. Okay. So on contrary means we have to prove x square plus y square is never perfect square, but we have to prove this by contraction method. So we have to assume it is perfect square. Okay. So we are on contrary assume x square plus y square is perfect square. Okay. This means there is some integer r such that x square plus y square is equal to r square. Okay. Now x square plus y square is equal to r square and x square plus y square is equal to 2 times y square plus 1. This we can see x square plus y square is even because it is 2 times of something integer. Okay. This implies x square plus y square also equal to r square. and this is E1. This implies R square was E1 because here left hand side is same. So the right side here is E1. So this implies R square must be E1. This implies R square is E1. That is, now R square is E1 means R also E1. So R must be equal to E1 number. That is, R must be equal to 2 times of some integers. Okay. Now R is equal to 2 times of A. Okay. So R square is equal to, this implies R square is equal to 2 times of A whole square, but R square is equal to X square plus Y square, and X square plus Y square is equal to 2 times twice K plus 1. This implies this is equal to 2 times twice K plus 1. This implies 4A square is equal to 2 times twice K plus 1. This implies, so divide by 2 on both sides, we get twice A square is equal to twice K plus 1. Now this is odd, this is E1. So E1 is equal to odd. This is not possible. Here E1 is equal to odd number, which is not possible. This is contradiction to our assumption. So our assumption that X square plus Y square is a perfect square is wrong. This implies X square plus Y square cannot be a perfect square. Okay.